What can a day of spoon theory look like in practice if we're going to make a budget? Let's check it out.
Welcome to Planning for Adventure. I'm Jessie, and today we're going to be doing some spoon theory, which is a way of managing your energy throughout the day if you have a chronic illness or burnout.
Today is a really intense day, and I'm honestly not quite sure how I'm going to be able to do it or how I'm going to get through it. So let's try to budget.
You'll be joining me on not one of the worst, but also not one of the best days.
So what is spoon theory in the first place? Spoon theory is a way to manage your energy, or kind of make a budget, sort of. And spoons are the chosen unit to sort of represent energy. So the theory in sort of the structure that it goes is, for example, if you start your day out with 10 spoons, it's going to take you X amount of energy or spoons, maybe 2 to get up in the morning. It's going to take you a bit to get through work. It's going to take something to do this. And if you have another activity, it's going to take another few spoons. And it's really easy to end up just completely expending all of your spoons and being totally exhausted and run yourself into the ground. Can you, in theory, borrow spoons? Yes, I could borrow. Let's say I've gotten through the day, I've used up all of my spoons on various things. I can push through by borrowing 2 spoons maybe from the next day. But if I do that, I'm not going to start tomorrow on 10. I'm going to start it on 8. And if I couldn't manage to get through yesterday on 10 spoons, how am I going to be able to get through today on 8 spoons? You see where I'm going with this? It's sort of a vicious cycle. So budgeting your spoons, especially if you have a chronic illness or if you have burnout, is a really good tool to use. And I thought that I would bring you guys along for a day of me trying to budget my crazy life and trying to get through a day. I think it really helps with being aware where you're putting your energy and sometimes saying no to stuff.
Even if we say that we're starting the day with 10 spoons, the process of getting up and getting out of bed when you have a chronic illness, you're dealing with pain or with burnout, can be seriously difficult. And it's a totally different thing to come to terms with, that it's a process, that you have to be slow about it sometimes.
Waking up is really hard when it's cold and dark.
This day was a really difficult one as well because I was in really bad pain, especially when I woke up. It was hard to move and hard to sit up, so David was on coffee duty. It's, I think, important to kind of say, okay, if you do this, I'll do that, because it's such a puzzle getting everything together in the morning when it's not just you, it's also kids, and sometimes your body's not working. It's frustrating.
When it comes to spoons and spoon theory, most people, generally speaking, have the ability to regenerate spoons throughout the day. If you're dealing with a chronic illness or burnout, this might not be the case for you. A lot of times it's not. And that is why it's so important to budget your spoons, because say in some other situation, maybe you could just sort of take a nap, go rest or do something and earn back a few spoons. But if you're suffering from like burnout and things like that, it can be really hard. And a lot of times I will schedule breaks throughout the day, not necessarily to win back spoons, but in order to hold on to the ones I've got left and make sure that energy doesn't just trickle away in little meaningless things.
At this point, you might be asking yourself, why does their car have dandruff? It doesn't. We just had to scrape the inside and the outside of the window this day because it's so cold. The joys of living in Sweden at minus 14 degrees Celsius. The weather obviously has an impact on how your spoons and your energy gets taken during the day as well. When it's hard to get warm and you have to scrape the car and stuff, it takes time. It is a guidance counselor day today at work. This is my place. And I need to figure out how to distribute my spoons throughout the day so that I last as much as possible. It has been a really, really rough morning. Usually I would say that my budget is 2 spoons for morning get ready and all of those things. It's been more like 3. And I'm already starting out on a deficit today because I am in so much pain. I haven't slept much at all. I've started to try to color code my spoons. So I've been doing sort of an orangey color for stuff that is home and family, green for work, purple for whenever I'm doing performances online, and red for if I'm in a deficit. So here's what I've got so far. So this is what I was planning for today, or what I kind of thought today was going to look like. So it would be 2 spoons for the morning at home, 4 spoons to get through work, 1 spoon taking the kids home from school and getting things done in the afternoon, 2 purples for my performance tonight online, and 1 orange one for dinner and doing everything. And I knew that there was a possibility of that becoming a deficit spoon, which I really, really want to avoid. Unfortunately, we're already semi-screwed because this morning was not a 2-spoon morning, it was a 3 at the very least, which means I only have 3 spoons for work today. I'm thinking hopefully I can pull that off because it is not a teaching day, but we'll see. So it actually turns out I have a canceled appointment, which works out pretty good because I do need to conserve spoons today, so I can rest a little bit and do some low-key stuff at the same time. It works good. Okay, show is starting in 25 minutes and I'm really tired. Usually I do end up getting kind of jacked up from the energy of the singing, so that's good. Just hoping that I last. Well, the show is done, and it was so much fun, but it does take a lot out of me. So I am going to conserve my energy and go to bed early and take a bit of a bath. I think overall it was a good day. It really helped to rearrange and move stuff that I had overscheduled, and I was spending my last spoon on preparing for tomorrow. Planning ahead always helps, because you never know if you're going to have a day like this.
3 days later.
I can't move. Everything hurts.
Life happens. So, when you've gotten through the day and you feel like you're on 0 spoons at the end of the day, what does that actually mean? Like, what is 0 spoons to you? I think that this is
possibly something that is up to each individual person in regards to how you define being at zero. Personally, I like to think of it kind of like a car tank. Because, when the car tells you that it's out of gas, when the thing is on empty, it's not completely empty. You don't want to run yourself down to fumes, okay? If you do, you're going to be crawling desperately to get into bed, and that's not a good place to be. So I usually try to make sure that at the end of the day, you try to budget yourself for having a little bit left. That way, if you budget so that you have like half a spoon left, you start tomorrow out in a much, much better place. Are you mad at me for taking your squirrel? Fine. And it begins again. Insert never-ending story.
Oh yeah.
I think with making a spoon budget, it's kind of like if you're doing money budgeting or whatever, like you need to sort of give yourself, or attempt at least to give yourself some wiggle room, because unforeseen circumstances and things that you don't count on are going to happen. That's just life. And if you have things down to, like exactly, you're gonna get really disappointed really fast. That's kind of why I try to keep my mind sort of open on where can I save spoons. And that's not me being lazy, that's me being smart. And you're always gonna need to do adjustments. That's just how it goes. I'm kind of thinking maybe I need a bump spoon, like a spoon that I designate to be my bump in the road spoon, like a spoon that is there for unforeseen circumstances. I might need a different color for that. Maybe blue. Did I do blue? And I'm trying to schedule in self-care several times a week as well. I think that looks different for all of us, but for me, I have like this little box where I've collected face masks and sheet masks and things like that, like exfoliating scrubs, like little things. It doesn't have to be crazy expensive, but I just kind of collect them and save them for special situations, like a Tuesday night. I do think, though, that the spoon theory concept is so good because you can see, oh my Lord, I'm running out of spoons, and kind of be like, oh, maybe I should rethink that. Maybe I shouldn't plan on doing both the birthday party and going to the mall with the kids and doing grocery shopping and doing the dentist and all of those things at once. It kind of makes you go, and be a little bit smarter about how you schedule your stuff.
Then again, some things you just can't plan.
And some days you just have to stay